Hello, sports fans. Happy New Year and welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. My name is Eric Kohler and thanks for joining us. This week we'll catch up with our very own Mike Parsons as he sets up the athletic table for the 2017 campaign, and we'll sit down for the first time with assistant men's basketball coach Anthony Jackson as he talks men's hoops. But first, please welcome back to the show the head coach of the women's team, head coach Jim Grimes. Hello, Coach.
Hey, how are you?
Happy New Year to you and your family. How were your holidays?
Oh, they were really great. It was a nice little break.
So you got to get away from basketball and coaching and got to
I think
turn it
about
off for a while.
a solid 4 days.
Solid 4 days.
Yeah.
Well, in the coaching profession, I guess that's quite a bit.
That's pretty good. I was pleased with it.
Well, that's pretty good. Non-conference is officially in your rearview mirror. You have a young team. You saw some improvement each time you hit the hard court. Talk about from the coach standpoint of the non-conference schedule.
Well, we scheduled a very tough experience for our team, and I think that's going to pay dividends moving forward into our conference season, which is getting geared up right now. I think we played one of the toughest schedules in the country. We played the #1 team in the country twice, played the #2 team in the country twice, and we went through a tough gauntlet. But as you said, the team improved, and I think moving into the conference season, I wouldn't say we're where we want to be, but we're definitely further along than we were maybe a couple weeks ago.
Well, obviously, conference schedule now, it's almost like a new season, new opportunity. The table's been cleared. Now the goals are still right there that you can make a run. Talk about that.
Well, that's what we've talked about with our team. Everybody's 0-0 now. You know, we obviously want to win every time we go out there, but the conference games are the ones that really matter. They're the ones that are going to determine where we go, whether we qualify for the region tournament or the national tournament. So these are the games that are really important. So our focus is on blank slate, clean slate, and every goal that we set before the season is still right in front of us.
Now, having a young team, obviously you've been in this coaching business for some years now. Now you have a good gauge of what this team looks like. Talk about what you feel about this team, this season's team.
Well, we came in with 10 freshmen, but right now they're not freshmen anymore. They've got a lot of games under their belt against some of the best players in the country.
Right.
So we're moving forward. We're starting 4 freshmen, depending on the night, which 4 freshmen that is.
Right.
You know, we have 1 sophomore in the starting lineup, but that's Trudy Walker, who's our leading scorer, our leading rebounder. And we ride her a lot. She's got broad shoulders, so she's handled it very, very well. She's a great player. You know, I think she's definitely going to be a Division I player moving forward into her future. And then we've got 4 freshmen starting. You know, Kate Smith starts at the point for us. We've got a freshman, Sheree Serafont, behind her. So we've got 2 freshmen running the 1, which is a very challenging position for them. They've got to be a coach on the floor. So, you know, I coach those 2 probably harder than I do the rest of the team. And, you know, Mariah Batts, another freshman from Titusville, has been one of our best shooters. She's been shooting it really, really well lately. Dora Odia, who's moved into the starting lineup just the last couple weeks, has really been a spark for us, athletic and long on the perimeter. And Victoria Morales, a freshman who's been super consistent, probably our most consistent player from the beginning of the season, has been a really bright spot. I think she's going to end up developing into one of our best players.
So sometimes when these young gals come to the program, every player comes in their own, the light turns on at different times. And Victoria Morales, like you mentioned, the last 5 games, it really came on pretty strong.
She's a really special kid. She's shy and very humble. We actually have to coach her to be more aggressive, to hunt more shots. I talked to her a lot. In our last game, she had 2 shot attempts in the first half, and I was talking to her halftime. So we have to run stuff specifically to get her shots. She really, you know, wants to get her teammates involved, and she doesn't really know and understand how good she can be. But she's been really good for us, and we really rode her a lot in our last game. And she's going to be, I think she's going to develop into a Division I player.
That's pretty good. Now, Trudy Walker, obviously, she's your leader. Now, is she an outspoken leader inside the locker room as well?
She's growing in that area.
Okay.
She's a quiet person naturally.
Okay.
But we have really pushed her and met with her a lot. Our staff has met with her a lot about being more vocal, and she's really risen to that challenge. So she's more every day. She's talking more and more, sounding more and more like a coach out there in practice, which has been a really big help for us.
So how do you coach that out? How do you get a soft-spoken player that comes in that's got great talent on the court, but just to coach that out of them and say, hey, you know, we need to hear your vocal leadership?
Well, it's one of the most important lessons you can learn, and that's what a big part of our program is, developing character traits that these girls are going to use as they grow into women and grow into adults, and whether they're going to continue to play basketball or go into the business world, whatever their choosing endeavor, one of the things they have to learn is to get out of their comfort zone.
Right.
There's so many things that you're going to be called to do, you're going to need to do to show leadership that maybe you don't like doing or maybe you're not comfortable doing. And so this is a great environment for them to learn that. Trudy's done a really good job of that. And the real important part for her is her and I agree, and we have the same goals. We want to win a conference championship. We want to compete for a national championship. For us to do that, she has really come to a full understanding of what her role must be.
Right.
So she has stepped into that role because that is really important to her to meet those goals.
Now, speaking of goals, what do you have goals for your team now since the conference schedule is upon you? Do you have some goals for the team? You talk about it, or is it you just kind of keep this? What's your kind of like strategy
We
there?
honestly, this is going to sound like coach speak. We don't talk a lot about winning and losing or certain goals. We want to get better every day. We have had stretches where I feel like we have done that, but we've also had stretches where we've been pretty inconsistent. Even within a 40-minute game, I don't feel like we've put 40 minutes together of what we really could be. So I think those goals of winning a conference championship and getting to the state tournament for the third straight year. Those are things that are out there for us,
right.
and I don't ignore it. That's it. I think it would be disingenuous for me to do that. We all want to do that. Every player on my team wants to do that and participate in those kinds of tournaments. But the truth is, we have to get better today. We got to get better at guarding the ball. We got to keep people in front of us. We got to rebound better. We got to make more shots. If we do that, that'll all take care of itself.
So reset with conference schedule upon you. Now you start on the road, and then you have a conference home opener on the 21st. Talk about some of the teams that bring some challenges, pose some challenges in conference play.
Well, I think this year's conference is definitely the best that we've been in. Palm Beach is much improved. They're nationally ranked right now. Broward College is just unbelievable this year. They only have one loss in the non-conference. And then Florida Southwestern, a new addition to our conference, is really starting to play better towards the end of their non-conference schedule. They really started improving. Miami-Dade also, with Coach Summons, is always going to be solid. She does a really good job down there, gets really good players. And also Indian River and ASA. Everybody's going to be a challenge. That's one of the things, even in the non-conference, as we've gone through it, as I've talked to the other coaches in Florida, everybody says the same thing, is that there's really no off nights in Florida. It's hard we don't schedule wins here. Every night you go out, you better play or you're going to get beat.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, though. You've scheduled some very tough opponents in the non-conference. Now the conference is getting better, so there's not a game that you can circle right there and say, hey, we got this one in the bag.
Not at all. Not at all. But our hope is that non-conference has prepared us. We won't see anything we haven't seen before. We're going to see highly talented Division I level players in conference, just like we've already seen through the non-conference. So our hope is that our team is prepared for the level of competition that we're about to go through.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. To be the best, you got to play the best.
That's right.
So now, what do you think about, what are some of the expectations, though, out of conference play? You guys are ready. You've seen it all. I mean, do you feel like you can make a little run in conference play?
Well, I feel like if we play the way we can and
Okay.
we commit to our principles and play well, I think we can play with anybody in the country. We have obviously played the best teams in the country. We played a defending national champion who's the number one in the country right now. We competed with them. And as long as the team understands that and they grab hold, they're consistent with their effort and their attitude, I think we could play with anyone.
Well, you're building a great program. And the 21st, which is a conference game at home, is televised on WEFS. Talk about some of the exposure that brings to the program to get eyes on those television sets.
Well, that's been a huge resource for us in our recruiting. And this year it's been great. We'll have 6 home games on TV this year, and that's amazing for our
Absolutely.
Our team. Their parents and their family can see it when recruits come and visit and they see that the game's on TV. That's great for our program. It's great we're doing some great things at Eastern Florida. It's a special place, and the more we can get our brand out there, I'm all for it. And our athletic department, under the leadership of Coach Carr, has just done an unbelievable job with that.
Well, Coach, you're building something special. Keep doing what you're doing. That's head coach Jim Grimes. We're going to take a short break and talk men's hoops. Keep it locked in. This is Inside Titan Sports.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. It's now time to talk men's hoops. Please welcome the show for the first time, assistant men's basketball coach Anthony Jackson. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Thank you for having me.
Hey, first time you're on the show. This is great. You guys are 16-1. The high-flying Titans in the house.
Yes. It's a lovely season. We got a lot of work left to do, but I'm happy where we're at right now in our position.
Well, you've been here 4 years now with Coach Schulman, and it's amazing to me to look back at this national ranking, the winning culture, 4 years. What's your role with this team? This has got to be fun for you.
Yes, I play one of the fellow assistant coaches. My role is to help out, in the gym, help execute individual workouts, and try and keep our individual players on track with their grades, and just whole athleticness, and also trying to teach them a role in maturity and becoming a man, because also college is the next step beforehand of becoming a man. And just trying to teach them a lot of stuff that they haven't previously been entertained or introduced to. So.
Well, I think that's pretty good. Now, Coach, you work with Jeremy Schulman. This is a good guy. He comes on the show a lot. This is your first appearance on the show, and you're always welcome back, by the way. But what rubs off on you from Coach Schulman? Because he always seems like a high-energy, good guy to be around all the time.
It's the tenacity and the process, the execution that he's 24/7. He wants everything perfection. He never settle, and just never be relaxed of what you're doing. And there's a fine line of when you can joke around and when you can be serious. But
Right.
when it's game time, you want to be all in for 40 minutes. And, you want to do the right thing and execute. It's all about the process to him.
Well, that's pretty good. And I tell you what, Anthony, he gets kids that come to play for Eastern Florida that do buy into him and the program. Talk about some of the players that really have shined this season to this point.
Well, when you have a Kareem Bruton, our sophomore guard, he really took a step up from his freshman year to become one of the leaders of the team and to be the aggressor and initiate the offense. And you have Austin Awad, who's another sophomore who comes in. He's just that leader, the vocal leader that puts us together. Every time there might be a struggle in the game and people aren't in line, so he calms us down and keeps them in check. He's the coach on the court when we're not on the court.
Right.
And then you have our wonderful freshmen that come in, one Ahmed Ali, a native from Canada, who comes in and he's just shooting lights out, shooting about 50% from the three-point line this season. And all our freshmen are actually growing up right before our eyes. We have Shaq Carter, Eli Bayev. They're all just stepping up to where you didn't expect it this early, but it's a pleasure to have, and that what helps us get to our 16-1 record right now.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest thing. It looks like everybody buys in their program, but everybody understands their role. And I mean, it just seems like everybody comes in shooting well, but they get together as a team, don't they?
Yes, they do. This is what's so great about the team. They get along with each other well, and they have fun. They know how to talk to each other. They don't let each other press each other's buttons. And they're just building so much camaraderie, and they just understand like when to pick each other up and just don't really hang their heads too low. So that's what I really love about this team.
Well, another thing is now with the television exposure on the program, with 6 games being televised, that gets eyes on the sets that people are really starting to see the Titans as a national force.
Yes, it's great. And then to have like a lot of people from different nationalities and all over the place, and their families being able to go online or go on TV and see them play, and to have kids know that can happen for them, it helps out with our recruiting a lot. And it's just a wonderful thing to have in that environment for the kids, just something to see. It's something different that they're not used to. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Palm Beach State, talk about that basket had to be like a bushel basket, everything that was going in. Talk about that high shooting percentage against Palm Beach State.
Oh, yes, I was proud of my guys. They came out focused and ready and executed because they knew what the task at hand was. They didn't want to lose at home. We're not used to losing at home. We don't like using at home. I lost once since being here, and that was last year off of a last-second shot. So they understand the situation at hand, and to come out focused and determined and just do everything that you had to do and execute and just get it done, and to do it in the first half and then just blow it away. And it was like we couldn't say anything. We went in the locker room. There's not much you can coach, but you just don't want them to coast in the second half. But other than that, they did phenomenal job.
It almost looked like you guys were out there just playing like a game of horse.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes it was like I think Austin and Ahmed went 9 for 9 from the three-point line for the first half. So you can't really do too much coaching off of that, but you just know that what you did for the process to lead up to the game paid off for when the game actually got there for us.
They did the homework when the lights went on, and then when the lights turned on, it's ready to roll.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've always been curious with an assistant coach. You see some of these programs that have 5, 6, 7 assistant coaches. How does everybody get in line in terms of following the lead of the head coach?
Well, you have to, like you said, be online. You understand what assistant coach does what. You know your role. Just like players, they understand what their role is on the team.
Okay.
We understand what our role is as an assistant coach. And, when you buy into the system, we all have one goal that we want to do. So if everybody does their part, it's just like working a machine. Everybody has to do their part in order for the machine to work how it's supposed to work. And once you understand that, and you know, like, there's no headbutting or anything going on, and you just know we have a goal that we want to accomplish. You do your part, this helps our goal. Everybody does their part, that helps complete the goal. And when we take care of that, you know, it all falls in line. And that's what we like it about here. I love my assistant coaches. I love my players. You know, we all have a great family-oriented atmosphere that we bring to the table. So, I mean, I just enjoy it.
Well, speaking of love, I love the service that you've done for our country. You served in the United States Air Force.
Yes, sir.
And you were at Patrick Air Force Base, which is right next door here where we shoot this show. How much has being part of the military really helped you in coaching and then teach thoughts of life to these young players that come through the program here with the Titans?
Well, it all comes down to, like, just the details of things. Like, my dad was in the Air Force too, retired out, and it teaches you, you know, how to grow up, be responsible, you know, have integrity, and just be very attention to detail to certain things. And then when you transition that over to the basketball world, it's just like when you're running plays or you just any little things. It's just like having your jerseys lined up a certain way to where it got to matching, or at least coming out with your shoelaces tied.
Right.
But very attentive to detail, and transitioning that and having that correlate from basketball. It was pretty easy transitioning, and then just becoming a leader. You know, you can't be in your comfort zone and be in a shell. You want to get out of that, and you know, because you're going to have to teach somebody one day how to become a man or a woman, and you know, just be a leader. And I think that helps with me as becoming a man, and hopefully in the future it helps me more, and then it helps the players who I'm teaching become the same way. So, you know.
Well, and I think
really
that's
like
great too, because it's created structure in your life, and you can teach that for kids. Paying forward, per se, is what I always say.
Yes.
Now, conference is kind of loaded up now. We have a target on our back now.
Yes.
We're a top-ranked team. Talk about some of the teams that pose this challenge for the men's side.
Well, Palm Beach is a great team. We have coming up ASA Miami, and then we got a long road game ahead. Well, a few road games with ASA Miami, then we go back to Palm Beach. We have Miami-Dade, which is a tough offensive powerhouse right now. Indian River runs a lot of set plays, and they're really good. Their coaching staff does a great job with those guys over there. And being that we went undefeated last year, you know, Target is on our backs.
Absolutely.
They had to knock us off our pedestal. So we understand that, though. We knew that coming in, that, you know, it's not going to be easy. So don't expect to go every game, think you're going to just beat somebody. Like, these guys are going to treat you like you're the best teams because you are the best team. So they're going to give you their 110% effort every time you come in the game. So you got to be ready for that. So we try to approach practice the same way, and hopefully that transitions on the court to we understand our situation, you know, get the job done.
Well, you've commanded respect for the Titans program, but you have my respect for serving our country and obviously serving the Titans basketball team as the assistant men's basketball coach. Anthony, great job. You're always welcome back to the show. Keep doing great things out there.
Thank you for having me.
That's Anthony Jackson. We'll take a short break and talk to our very own Michael Parsons. Keep it locked in. This is Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to our final segment of Inside Titan Sports. It's time to talk with our very own manager of athletic communication. We got Michael Parsons. Hey Mike.
How you doing?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's a brand new year, I guess, even though we're in the mid-season of our year.
You finally had some time. Please tell me you had some time to finally shut it down with all the things that you do for the college.
Yeah, definitely. Like Coach Grimes, I had a good, 4 or 5 days that I found myself not knowing exactly what I had to do. So that was kind of nice. It's one of those funny things, though. You start getting in the vacation mode, and then it's over. You're like, oh, now I got to do stuff again.
It is amazing, though. The role that you've done for Eastern Florida has been amazing. It really, truly has. And I just don't know how you can do so many different facets within this industry that it's got to be hard to turn it off sometimes.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those funny things that once you do turn it off, it's hard to get back going into it. So you don't like to turn it off. You know, like to keep it going because all the balls are in the air.
Yep.
You know, you're like the juggler, and everything's in the air. And if you walk away, everything starts falling, and so you got to keep the balls going.
Well, let's set it up. Let's look back 2016. Let's look at some of the highlights and recaps that you really enjoyed of the athletic season for the Titans.
Definitely. I mean, you know, you got the men's basketball team going to Hutchinson once again, playing in the national tournament.
Right.
You know, our men's golf team hosted the national tournament, finished in the top 5. Carrie Sweeney won a national title. You know, those are, you know, huge things. You know, the women's soccer team every year going to the national tournament and hosting it, and it's so much fun to have all that here. We talked about that and how much, you know, you were there, I was there, and it's such a great time, you know. But, you know, behind the scenes, since I've taken this role, behind the scenes has been so great. The kids, you know, everybody says it, but it's not really just speak. I mean, the kids really are great, and the kids make it special. You know, when the kids come into your office and just to say hi, and you know that, you know, you're helping them become better people, it's an amazing feeling, and it's one of the things that I was hoping to do when I took this role, and it's really starting to come through, and it's really special.
Well, I tell you, it's really kind of a family atmosphere with the Titans, which I really enjoy doing this part of my indirect role with the show and all that jazz. Now, that was a great 2016.
Yeah.
Now, let's set the table. 2017, wow. Bam, here it is.
Here it is.
What do we got going? We got all the sports are in
you know,
action now.
and once spring starts, basically all the sports are going to get going again, and they started practice this week, and you know it's an exciting time. All the coaches are, you know, high because it's, you know, we're all back in school and we're back on the courts and we're back on the fields, and so, you know, you can just feel that buzz of, you know, great things are coming with these programs. And you know, softball field is going to open a brand new stadium, you know, in just a couple weeks now, and they were moving in yesterday, and so that's special, and you're excited because, you know, it's a brand new facility. It's right next to the soccer complex now, and so now all of our sports are right on the main Melbourne campus, and it's really nice. And you know, the softball team being down in this campus now just brings everything together. It just feels like, okay, now everything's right.
Now, is that the final piece of the athletic complex, the softball?
Yeah, for right
Softball
now we're totally complete. You know, we got the brand new softball. We got, you know, state-of-the-art soccer, of course, the men's basketball, or the basketball, well, the gym.
Right.
The gym got new bleachers. We have a weight room now that's brand new. I mean, it just seems like everything's coming together, and it just looks like a brand new campus out there now.
Now, you can tell there's definitely a buzz around campus, and I think that's a big thing, though. When you get the facilities on campus, Mike, that's a game changer in terms of getting the community to come on a campus, see all this great stuff that's happening, and I think that's a game changer in terms of growing attendance and getting people participating in Eastern Florida.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of my little niche too, is now that I have everything on Melbourne's campus, is trying to find ways to get more people out to see it, because, you know, it's like we talked about with Coach Jackson. Once you see these teams, you're going to come back.
Yeah, high
because
quality.
the teams are high quality.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you know, Coach Grimes talked about, you know, Trudy Walker's going to go play Division I. Kareem Bruton's going to go play Division I. C.J. Jackson from last year already is playing Division I. You know, you have all these players and they move on. You know, I mean, we know Bunny's going to go on and play Division I somewhere. And, you know, you can see them right here before you see them on TV in 2 years. And it's just a great thing, and we just, you know, need to keep spreading that word and getting people out, because once they watch it once, you lose all aspect of, well, this is just a 2-year college, because these guys play as well. These teams are as good as any team you're going to see around.
Well, it's great vision, too, under the direction of Dr. Jim Ritchie, getting the television element, doing this show, getting the athletic facilities. It really raises the national awareness of what Eastern Florida is all about, Mike.
Yeah, it really does, and these things are all big pieces on helping to get the word out and just spread that, you know, we have great teams and we have great, you know, kids, and we have great teams and great athletes. You know, our athletes are top notch here, and you know, the men's tennis team is growing, you know, like a weed, basically. I mean, they're getting fast. The women's tennis team is really going to be good. Men's baseball, the baseball team went to states last year. We expect another season like that from them. Softball's the same thing. They went to states, and we expect that again. And you know, that's the thing, is the bar just keeps rising.
Right.
And Dr. Ritchie starts it with the facilities. You know, when you have the best of everything, then you can start raising that bar even further, because there's no reason why a kid shouldn't go to Eastern Florida. If a kid doesn't want to go right to Division I or Division II, there's absolutely no reason he or she shouldn't come to Eastern Florida for 2 years and then go to Division I. You don't really lose anything in doing that, and you know, some of the kids have talked about that while they're here, and you know, it's just a great thing that we've got going there, and I can't wait to see what's next.
If you build it, they will come.
Exactly, and we're building it.
With the national awareness of Eastern Florida, the brand, the best part too is you have a responsibility to be part of the awareness out there in the community. And raising awareness is something called the Green Dot Initiative. Talk a little bit real quickly about what this is and how you care about this initiative.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that the college is doing all season, and we're doing a special day on January 21st. We have a women's and men's basketball doubleheader that day. It's a Saturday afternoon. 2 o'clock is the women's game, the men's at 4. And really, it's just to raise awareness for violence. You know, and every community, especially these days, you can't turn on a TV without seeing, you know, all of these violent things. And it's just another initiative for us to raise that awareness that,
I like it.
that you know, we should put an end to the violence. And there's a lot more, you know, things that you should be doing rather than, you know, having the guns and you know, being violent to other people. And so it's really a cool thing that we're doing as a college as a whole. And January 21st is really going to be special. We're going to have some giveaways, some prizes, and you know, really hope to raise that awareness that, you know, we need to put a stop to violence.
Well, I tell you what, the awareness, it's great to be part of that. And Mike, you do so many good things for the college. Thanks for all you do. And fans, that's all the time we have for this week's show. Happy New Year's to you and your family. Here's to peace, health, and happiness. For executive producer Rob Landers, Michael Parsons, my name is Eric Kohler, saying so long. Remember, fans, anything and everything for Eastern Florida, check us out at EFSCTitans.com. Remember, fans, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.